Hello everyone. One of the reasons I wanted to get an overlanding off-roading trailer such as the M1102 was I wanted to be able to mount the rooftop tent to it, this mini-built Gen 2, or get another larger tent, which this can now accommodate easier than the Jeep Wrangler could have. I wanted a quick and easy way, relatively cheap, to be able to just mount this on here so that way I could use the rooftop tent in the meantime until we get some sort of setup for the bed of the Power Wagon. So I went and bought these 2x3 inch metal bars, tubular bars made out of steel. There's rib nuts located all along the M1102's bed rails. They work great for mounting things. You can just bolt things directly in, and I just fastened these metal bars to it, put the rooftop tent on that, and it was ready to go. But one thing I didn't do, I cleaned some of the rust off them, but I didn't paint them. I was in a hurry. I wanted to use it on the trip up to Gilmer when I picked up the rock rails for the Power Wagon. So I just left them bare, thinking, oh, well, you know, I'll paint them. Hopefully they don't rust too much, but they're starting to look really a lot of rust on them. I need to get the rust off, then put some paint or protection on it. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to take these off, treat them with a rust remover, and then spray paint them with some Rust-Oleum paint that'll help protect them and prevent the rust. Also on the side where they cut the bars, it's pretty rough. They didn't do any smoothing out, so I might do that as well. I've got this old ceiling storage hoist that I bought many years ago, probably 15 years. I've installed this in several different places that we've lived, several different garages. And it's worked great. I mainly used it for lifting and storing hardtops for my Jeeps that I've owned, but this has come very valuable in allowing me to lift up and store the rooftop tent when it's not in use. What I do now is once I get it at this height, I leave a little bit of a gap as to not destroy the ladder. I'll use these heavy-duty ratchet straps to ratchet it to the platform of the ceiling hoist. Alright, we're fully unhooked, ready for liftoff. Just like that, your hardtop is up and out of the way. Now I can work on these rusty metal bars. Still pretty structurally sound, but don't want it to keep rusting.
I had to use a pair of vice grips on this particular riv nut because it was starting to move as I was moving the bolt. So the vice grips would hold it in place. It still has pretty good holding power, but it's just the riv nut's rotating along with the bolt.
Now ideally I probably would have wanted to put a crush sleeve in there, but when I did this I was so pressed on time I just decided to do it this way, and this bar is pretty strong. As you can see, there's almost no bend in that after that bolt being tightened down. Probably would maybe relieve some lateral stress on the bolt if there was like a crush sleeve in there. I might go ahead and do that, maybe not today but at some point. It'd also be nice to get some sort of rubber cap for this, but I doubt I can find one that exact size. Okay, most of the rust is gone. There's still, little areas of rust, but I'm gonna use this special paint that's supposed to dissolve the rust and create a usable painted surface. This isn't a completely permanent solution, but I do want it to last a little longer than it was lasting. So this is what I used to dissolve the rust. Rust-Oleum Rust Dissolver. And this is what I'm going to use to paint it, called Rust Reformer. Instantly converts rust to a protected paintable surface and stops rust. So hopefully this will be enough to remedy the leftover areas of rust on there, at least for the somewhat, like I said, not completely long term, but hopefully it lasts, however long it'll take until I can get an actual rack. It sure is a lot smoother than it was. I'm gonna have to get more anyway. I gotta put a second coat. Then I gotta turn it over. Okay, so these metal bars are ready to put back on the M1102. In order to prevent scratching and rusts, well, the trailer's not gonna rust, it's made of aluminum, but the metal sitting on the aluminum directly was causing some scratching of the paint and the aluminum of the trailer itself. So I bought some rubber sheeting. I'm gonna kind of cut out my own little gasket, if you will, to kind of protect the metal bars and protect the trailer since it's metal to metal contact. Now it'll have a piece of rubber there. And also for where the tent sits directly on this, the aluminum bars that are on the tent itself will be sitting right on here, and there was rust on there as well. So hopefully just want to prevent any scratching of this paint as much as possible. I know some of it's unavoidable, but that way just kind of prolong the life of these metal bars. It's not pretty, but it's 100% functional. These things are extremely stout. It's you can shake the whole trailer, and it does its job of holding the rooftop tent and with weight inside of it. Haven't had any issue. The only thing I would do better is I would get some sort of spacer put in here. I couldn't find anything. I'm just lazy, just haven't spent the time to really find one that'll fit inside there. But that would make sure you could tighten this super tight. These are already really tight, but you don't want to go too tight, as this will start to bend Now we've got these where it's not going to scratch the trailer or the coating on these. I just need to cut some rubber gaskets to put on here. I don't want this digging into these crossbars at all. But like I said, fully functional. And there's still, even though these aren't lifted any higher than the lip of this bed, there's still plenty of room in here. I can fit one of these large plastic bins and still have ample room. And that's just under there. I mean, we still have room on this side to stack since it's not one of the larger rooftop tents. It's probably the smallest one you can get. Any bigger and it would have been too big for the Jeep, but here it actually looks kind of small on the M1102, but being smaller allows us to access the bed of the trailer more around it. I didn't like how long these bolts were, so went to the hardware store and picked up some grade 8 bolts that are half an inch shorter. This is a 5/16 by 18 by 3, and this is 2.5. So that way nothing will rub up against the bottom of the bolt there. Just wanted to open it up and air it out from the last trip. It's all ready for the next adventure. Hope you enjoyed this or found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next motoring adventure.